Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Bawowski and I'm a photographer based in the south of England. I'm going to have a little chat about the Leica M8 today. This is my go-to camera. It's the camera I pick up every day when I go out. If I go up to London or anywhere really, I just like to have this with me. It's my sort of, I like to think of it as my point and shoot. It's nothing like a point and shoot, and you have to work at it, but it's my go-to camera. It's not perfect, but it does produce the most beautiful images. The color images are almost like using an old, some of the old film stock image colors, and the black and white, people have compared it to the Leica monochrome. The tones are just beautiful, and to be quite honest, most of the time I have it set to the black and white setting. So it for me, it's almost like using a film camera with some Ilford HP5 or something like that in it. It was Leica's first introduction or first sort of step into the digital world, really. They launched this one in I think it was 2006. It's 10.3 megapixels, which today, I mean, people are shooting with 50 megapixels, 80 megapixels, 40 megapixels. Fantastic, but to be quite honest, I've had some really beautiful prints out of this, and you can print up to sort of, I don't know, 16 by 20 prints, and you've got a lot of detail. And again, for me, it's not always about the detail, it's about the image and the atmosphere, what you've actually captured, more than perfect pixel peaking pictures, which is what some people want. The body is made of magnesium, I think magnesium alloy, and the base plate and the top plate are made from that lovely old brass that nearly all the Leicas are made from, the M mount Leicas. And given time, I mean, this has got some age to it, and there's not a lot of wear on it, so it's been really well looked after. But it will produce that lovely worn, soft, brassy sort of Leica look that people love, the old vintage look. Most Leica mount lenses will fit on this. This is Summicron 50mm 1.2, and I think this was, I don't know, probably made in the 90s or something like that. But most of the M mount lenses will fit without any problem. So the Leica M8 is not the perfect camera. It, to be quite honest, in low light conditions, it's not very good at all. You tend to get an awful lot of, being a digital camera, a lot of digital noise. So it's not quite the same as having a really grainy filmic look. It just depends what you like. It's probably a little bit too artificial, grainy looking than I would like. But under general conditions, you know, daylight, most kind of daylight photography and everyday photography and portraits, and I actually use it in the studio. It's fantastic when I set up the lights and use a trigger, can put the trigger on the top. The images are superb. I mean, the quality of the images is superb, but just as I say, in low light conditions, it's not that brilliant, which is one of its downfalls. And that's what, you know, a lot of people make a fuss about this, but it still takes beautiful pictures. It still takes really good images, and the quality of the images is very good. And I've said that a few times already. The other problem it had, there was, when they made it, it was, the sensor was very sensitive to, I think it's ultraviolet light. And what was happening, I think people were taking pictures, and anything black, especially something like material or something like that, or clothing, or anything with a darkish kind of colour. The blacks were coming out with a purple tinge to them, and I think greens were doing the same. They weren't coming out purple, but they were coming out a browny, muddy look. So what Leica did, they after the launch of the camera, and this problem was kind of detected, and people started complaining about it, they supplied everybody with it's like an ultraviolet filter, and I can't remember the full name of it, but I'll put a link in the bottom to it. But they don't supply it free anymore, but you can buy them. They are available online, and it's just a screw mount. In fact, I've got it on this one. It's just a little screw-in filter, and that sorts out that problem with the weird colours. The other problem you have is that Leica themselves are really not that keen on, in fact, I don't think they do, a repair service for the M8. I think I've heard stories of people that have asked for a quote just to have, not so much a service, but if there's something that goes wrong with it, quotes to repair them and to update the sensor or something like that. I mean, they've had silly quotes of like £2,500, £2,000 to £2,500. Well, this is the problem with the M8. I've been very, very lucky with this camera, and it's served. I've had it for about 3 years, and I've not had a problem with it. But I mean, I took the risk when I bought it. The price when I bought it was they were going for between £600 and £800 for the body alone. Now, in a way, that's quite a nice way of getting into the Leica rangefinder system. I mean, you've obviously, that's the body alone price. You've obviously got to buy lenses. For me, it seemed quite a reasonable price at the time, but I have been checking out, just before I started this video, I was checking out the prices on the internet, and they seem to be going up. They've got this kind of niche following where people seem to quite like the image, the color of the images, the way it performs, and it seems to have pushed all the prices up. And obviously, all Leica prices have gone up, lens prices have gone up, but this seems to be sort of building up. Every few months they go up another £100 or another couple of £100. So I think now for a body, I think the average kind of price is about £1,200. But I mean, you might find something cheaper, but there is no guarantee that there's nothing wrong with it. But that's the risk you take buying a second-hand camera. But they're probably, I don't know, anywhere between £1,000 and £1,500 now. Now, if you are thinking of getting into the lower end of the Leica range, it's becoming more of a risk to spend that sort of money. You could save up a bit more and go for an M9, which is more up to date. That's a full frame Leica camera. Leica offer all the servicing and repairs. It's still not cheap to get repaired, but I mean, they're so well built, so there's not usually that much that goes wrong. Or you could take a mortgage out and buy the new M10 and anything else that comes along. They are beautiful cameras to use. You've got to have like a certain mindset to want to use one. I think what it is, when you buy a Leica, you seem to be buying into the legacy of a company that excelled in lens and camera production and development. The Leica and the M8 and all the other M things, cameras, there is a place for them, but it's for you to decide whether you have a place for the camera. And that's, for me, I do have a place for it. So for me, it's worth it, but it's certainly a beautiful quality build. It's a bit like we talked about the Hasselblad in the last video, and it's a bit like that. But I love it, and I'm going to put some pictures up, some images. I'll put some colour images up at the end of this video, and some black and white images. And as I say, it's my point and shoot camera and I love it. The build quality is fabulous. So that's all I've got to say for this little short video. Maybe the next video I do will be a part 2 again, and we'll take this out and take it out on a shoot and see what we can do with it. But in the meantime, if you found any of this interesting and helpful in any way, please subscribe. I'd love to have you along for any other videos we put up. I want to try and do something every week to 10 days. So I wish you all the best. Take care of each other, and I'll see you soon. Bye.